A revised version of ISO IEC 27002-2022 has been released to assist organisations in the development of information security control to help protect them and their information assets by placing greater emphasis on information security, cyber security and privacy protection. Whether you are looking to develop and implement an information security management system or are seeking certification, there is something for everyone. Let's take a look. Welcome to EMSmastery, where we look at the successful strategies and tactics to master environmental management and sustainability. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Andrew Marlowe. This episode looks at the recent publication of the revised ISO IEC 27002, now the 2022 edition, which can help in the development of an information security management system and for the protection of information. Whilst this YouTube channel normally covers environmental and sustainability topics, information security is a sustainability issue. Without information security, our businesses, our countries indeed, and the whole structure of society could falter. You only have to open the newspapers or watch the news on the TV to see regular security breaches in our banks, internet providers and attacks from hostile countries on the information infrastructure of their targets. I will look at why the revised standard has been published, give highlights of the revision and a by the numbers breakdown. Then I'll follow with more details about the revision of the terms and definitions, abbreviations and the categorization of controls, together with the use of new attributes. And then finally round off with what it means for ISO IEC 27001-2013 and indeed any organisation with current 27001 certification. So why has ISO IEC 27002 been revised? The world of information security has moved on. In the 9 years since 27002-2013 was published, there is a greater organisation and societal awareness of information security. A number of information security standards have been published over the past 9 years, such as 27701 for privacy, 27017 for cloud services, 27019 for energy utilities, 27011 for telecommunication organisations, and finally 27799 for health informatics. All of these developments lead to a need to update 27002 to provide a contemporary focus on the information security controls that can make a difference in any organisation, irrespective of its size, nature or complexity. It should be remembered that organisations cannot be certified to 27002, but its contents can help to inform the development of an 27001 information security management system which can be certified. Highlights of the revision are that the third edition cancels and replaces the second edition, which is the 27002-2013 standard, which has now been technically revised. And it also incorporates 2 technical corrigenda to make sure that the standard is completely up to date. The title of 27002-2022 has been revised in two specific ways. The coverage of the international standard has been aligned away from information technology and security techniques to better describe the functionality of the revised standard as it addresses three key concerns: information security, cyber security, and privacy protection. Issues that organisations and individuals are really concerned about from all the scare but real stories that we hear in the media. Additionally, the phrase code of practice has been omitted to better reflect its purpose of the standard, being a reference set of information security controls. At the same time, the structure of the document has also been changed, presenting the controls using a simple taxonomy and associated attributes, which we will come to a little later. And a rethink of the structure and controls has led to some controls being merged, some deleted, and several new controls have been introduced. A handy Annex B has been added to the revised standard to provide a correspondence table between the controls in 27002-2013 and the revised 2022 version. If you're getting value out of this episode, please click on the like button, and if you want to see more videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. For those of you who like to see the changes expressed in terms of numbers, the development of the revised 2022 version took 1 year longer than its predecessor. The new version has 72 more pages. The 2013 version relied on terms and definitions from another standard, ISO IEC 27000, while the new standard incorporates its own terms and definitions, 38 to be precise. A new facet of the 2022 standard is that there are 45 abbreviations, such as ACL for Access Control List and IoT for Internet of Things, which was not present in the earlier, now withdrawn 2013 version. Instead of the 14 clauses in the 2013 version, we now have 4, which are populated with 93 controls, down from the familiar 114. That's a reduction of 21 controls, with 11 new controls added. The cost of the new standard appears comparable to the older version, if not a little less expensive, despite the greater number of pages and additional content. 38 terms have been defined, ranging from the commonly used terms such as personally identifiable information and processes such as chain of custody and technology such as endpoint devices. In many cases, these terms and their definitions are referenced to other ISO standards to ensure compatibility between information security standards. There are 45 abbreviations, including widely used terms such as BYOD for Bring Your Own Device and Wi-Fi Wireless Fidelity and IP Internet Protocol, to more specific technological abbreviations such as RBAC for Role-Based Access Control and BIA for Business Impact Analysis and UEBA for User and Entity Behaviour Analytics. To look at the new information security controls in a little more detail, the new categorization of the controls are given in clauses 5 to 8, and these are generally referred to as themes. These controls are categorized as being organisational if they don't fit into one of the other 3 controls, which are people if they concern individual persons, such as their roles and responsibilities and employment terms and conditions. Physical if they concern physical objects, with a focus on physical information assets. And finally, technological if they concern technology, such as the application of various technologies used within the organisation. For reference, out of the 93 controls, there are 37 organisational controls, 34 technological controls, 14 physical controls, and 8 people controls. Each of the 93 controls are tagged with each of 5 attributes, which can be used as a way of creating different views or perspectives on the controls. Attributes can be a control type, whether preventative, detective or corrective. Information security properties based on the well-used properties of availability, confidentiality and integrity. Cybersecurity concepts from the NIST standards, such as identification, protect, detect, respond and recover. Operational capabilities which cover a wide range of perspectives on the security categorization of the control, such as governance, asset management and information protection through supplier relationships. And finally, security domains, covering governance and ecosystem protection. The informative Annex A describes how these attributes may be used, with examples of their use for controls such as policies for information security, where we can see more clearly the use of each of the 5 attributes and the values used, such as preventative for the control type and information security attribute and its values of confidentiality, integrity and availability, and so on. Finally, the bibliography provides reference to 51 additional ISO international standards, which may be useful for you or your organisation. The Information Security Forum Standard for Good Practice for Information Security, the ITIL Foundation at Edition 4, the National Institute of Standards and Technology Risk Management Framework for Information Systems and Organisations, as well as their Digital Identity Guidelines, and other documents such as the Open Web Application Security Project and OASIS. So, what's next? What does it mean for ISO IEC 27001? Like the proverbial London bus, once you see one, another comes along fairly quickly. In this case, 27001 and 27002 were developed along the same pathway. It's just that 27002 came out first. We can expect the new and revised 27001 to be released later in March 2022. It will become ISO IEC 27001-2022 and will incorporate its previous core agenda, as well as use the common control structure that we've seen for 27002, which we have covered in this episode. So what does this mean for 27001 certification? Well, it is understood that the International Accreditation Forum have a ballot out with its members for a 2-year transition period. Based on previous IAF transition periods, ISO IEC 27001-2013 certificates would remain valid for a 2-year period from the publication date of the revised 2022 version. During the 2 years, there would be a limited period for new 27001-2013 certifications, with an emphasis on transition audits to ensure that organisations can move smoothly to 2022 version. The final details of the IF transition towards 27001-2022 will become known in the next 2 months, and I will update on that information as soon as it is available. In the meantime, you may want to review your existing 27002-2013 base controls and undertake a gap analysis using Annex B to the revised 2022 standard, and start the revision of your own information security management system ahead of the deadline for transition. So I've covered a lot of ground in this episode on the revision of 27002, and I hope that it will be useful to assist you in starting your journey towards enhancing your information security or for securing 27001 certification. Further information on the newly published ISO IEC 27002-2022 and all the documents referenced in this episode are given in the description box below, including a link to the resources on the EMSmastery.com website. If this episode has helped to advance your understanding of the revision of 27002 and the key learning points for applying these controls in your organisation or as a consultant or auditor to your clients, leave a comment in the box below if this video has helped you. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel to ensure that you don't miss out on other episodes on environmental management and sustainability, and even the episode later in this series on the publication of ISO IEC 27001-2022. Until then, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch other episodes by clicking on the boxes in the top and bottom right, and to subscribe to this channel, click on the link to the left. Thank you.